remote mountaintop in Japan, a young man, in his teenage years at most, treaded across the snow-strewn hill. Tanjiro Kamado, eldest son of the Kamado family, was making his way down the mountain into town. His light yet sturdy body hauled a big straw basket behind him, full of charcoal. Because Tanjiro's family lived near the top of the mountain, they would retrieve coal and sell it at the town towards the bottom of the mountain. As Tanjiro was oldest and strongest, he was usually tasked with the selling of charcoal. As Tanjiro skidded down, he thought of his younger brothers and sisters, as well as his mother, who were all waiting for his return. Although the weather was harsh, Tanjiro was determined to sell as much coal as he could, so his family could have a full meal this New Year's. Although leaving his family worried Tanjiro, he felt assured, as his next oldest sibling, Nezuko, was watching the children. Tanjiro chuckled to himself as he thought of all the townsmen who had proposed to Nezuko after witnessing her beauty. She was of average height, long black hair, doughy round eyes, and healthy skin. Life is hard, but good, Tanjiro thought to himself. Eventually, Tanjiro had made it towards the bottom of the mountain. Rows of wooden buildings could be seen, covered with snow. From far away, dots of different colors scurried across the coral snow. It was the bustling townspeople. As Tanjiro entered town, a slew of people hurried towards him. "Tanjiro, help me. The shop lady is accusing me of breaking her plates." The shop lady came running out. "Why you? How dare you destroy my products and try to run to Tanjiro?" Without a word, Tanjiro picked up a piece of the broken glass. He moved it towards his nose and sniffed it. "This is the scent of a cat," Tanjiro stated. "Oh my, it must have been my cat," the shop lady stated. "Thank you, Tanjiro," the formerly accused said. As Tanjiro walked further into town, different people either asked to buy charcoal from him or asked him to lift some heavy furniture, since he was a strong young man. Tanjiro gladly complied. Old Man's Haburo. Tanjiro had finished his work and earned quite a bit of money this trip. All the musty suit and labor had paid off. He made his greetings to the townspeople and headed towards the exit when an older voice called out, "Hey, Tanjiro, are you going back up the mountain? It's dangerous. Don't go." Saburo-san warned Tanjiro. "I have a good nose, so I'll be fine," Tanjiro replied. "You can stay here for the night. Come on in. Don't argue now. Come in. Before the demons show up." Hesitantly, Tanjiro complied. Inside Saburo-san's home, a rich pork broth permeated the air. Tanjiro swallowed at the colorful arrangement of food in front of him. Steaming hot white rice, hunks of soft carrot, king mushroom and radish, crunchy daikon, last but not least, a heavy pork nabe stew contained with succulent slabs of pork meat. It was a long day of work, so Tanjiro dug in right away. After filling his belly, Tanjiro soon relaxed and asked old man Saburo, "Saburo-san, what are demons like?" Saburo-san looked at him and replied, "Man-eating demons have always prowled the land once it gets dark," Saburo-san stated. "That's why you should never prowl around at night. If you're done eating, go to bed. You can set off for home at first light." Tanjiro asked, "Could these demons come inside your house?" "Yes, they could," Saburo-san answered. "Then everyone would get eaten by demons," Tanjiro said. Saburo-san looked Tanjiro straight in the eye and replied, "That's why the demon slayers protect us, by slaying them. Now, go to sleep." The lights went off and Tanjiro closed his eyes. He thought to himself, Saburo-san lost his entire family. He must be lonely. I'll bring my brothers and sisters around next time. Don't worry, Saburo-san. There are no such things as demons. You don't have to be scared. Drowsy, Tanjiro turned to his side in his warm blanket. Wait, my grandma used to tell me the same things. With that, Tanjiro lulled into a deep sleep. Morning came. The sun illuminated the pitch white snow. Be careful, Saburo-san told Tanjiro. I will. With that, Tanjiro made his way up the mountains back to his family. Tragedy. Wherever happiness is destroyed, there's always the smell of blood. Tanjiro finally made it to the familiar row of trees near his home. He got closer, and horror enveloped his eyes. The snow in front of his cabin was soaked in blood red. A young woman in a light pink attire lay lifeless on the ground. Her body was shielding a young boy. It was Nezuko and Tanjiro's baby brother. Tanjiro shrieked in utter horror. He ran over to them and discovered an even more horrific sight. His mother, Hanako, Takeo, Shigeru, they were all brutally murdered inside of their home. Tanjiro checked everyone's body and discovered that only Nezuko's body was still warm. Without a moment's hesitation, he put Nezuko on his back and ran back to town. The icy cold air penetrated Tanjiro's lungs. He could barely breathe due to the pain. Still, he moved forward. He wouldn't let Nezuko die. Unbeknownst to Tanjiro, Nezuko's lifeless body twitched for a moment. Then, her hand gripped onto Tanjiro. Nezuko raised her head. She made an incomprehensible sound. Yes, it was more of an animalistic sound than any kind of language. Tanjiro still hadn't noticed. Next, Tanjiro felt a strong push on his back. The force of the push knocked both Tanjiro and Nezuko off of a small cliff. Tanjiro landed point blank onto the snow-ridden ground. The snow was the only thing that saved him from breaking his bones. After he came to, Tanjiro immediately got up. Nezuko, he thought to himself. When he focused his vision, he saw Nezuko standing across from him. Her hair had obscured her face, the blood frozen onto her clothing. Nezuko, are you all right? She didn't answer. You don't have to walk. I'll carry you to town. Tanjiro hurried to Nezuko. It was then that Nezuko raised her face, but Tanjiro immediately knew something was wrong. Veins bulged out from her forehead, her eyes bloodshot, her stare diving straight into him. Her mouth was open. Her revealed teeth showed an acute sharpness, more like fangs. Tanjiro half expected Nezuko to say something to him, but all he heard was a growl. Immediately, she grabbed Tanjiro with the vigor he had never seen from her before and knocked him down. She tried to bite him, to which Tanjiro reflexively shoved his hatchet handle onto her mouth. "Demon!" Tanjiro exclaimed to himself. This was exactly what Old Man Saburo had warned him about. Tanjiro couldn't believe his eyes. Nezuko was human, not demon. Tanjiro realized that even Nezuko's scent was gone. He knew there was no way she was responsible for their family's death. He had found her protecting their little brother. There was also no blood on her hands or mouth at the scene. Wait, there was one more scent. The individual with the separate scent must be the one responsible for all this. Tanjiro had no time to think. Suddenly, Nezuko's body grew heavier. Her legs, arms, and back all bulked up in size. With that, her strength grew tremendously as well. "It must have hurt, Nezuko. I'm sorry I couldn't save you. Nezuko, hang in there, Nezuko. Don't turn into a demon." Tanjiro pushed her back with all his might. He felt a warm sensation fall onto his face. He looked up and saw that Nezuko was in tears, seemingly trying to fight back an urge to attack him. Tanjiro and Nezuko were in the middle of the woods, with snow falling like cotton candy. Nearby, barely noticeable footsteps were rushing towards him. Upon a better look, it was a man in a black uniform. On top of his black uniform, he wore a patterned outer layer with green, yellow, and red. The man's black hair and blue eyes evaded the endless snow. On his right hand, he held his blade next to him while running directly towards Tanjiro and Nezuko. It was then he made a ballerina jump and directed his blades towards Nezuko. Both Nezuko and Tanjiro had noticed, and Tanjiro quickly grabbed Nezuko and pushed her onto the ground before the mysterious man could slice her. The man's blade's swing erupted in the snow, causing a powerful wave to echo across the woods. He had missed Nezuko and instead cut Tanjiro's long crimson hair. Tanjiro and Nezuko rolled several meters. When Tanjiro came to, he saw the man standing across from him. "Who is that?" Tanjiro said. In his hands was a shiny, emboldened sword. There was writing, "Destroyer of Demons." "A sword?" Tanjiro asked. "Why are you protecting it?" the mysterious man spoke. She's my sister," Tanjiro exclaimed. All the while, Tanjiro had to hold Nezuko down. She was trying to wrestle away from him. The man calmly looked at the pair. "You call that thing your sister?" Suddenly, the mysterious man dashed towards the two with inhuman speed. All Tanjiro could do was to duck down. Nothing happened. When Tanjiro looked, he realized Nezuko was gone from his grasp. He heard her struggling from a distance. Somehow, in a split second, the mysterious man grabbed her and moved several meters away from them. "Nezuko!" "Don't move," the mysterious man said. "My job is to slay demons. Needless to say, I'm going to decapitate your sister." "Hold on," Tanjiro pleaded. "Nezuko hasn't killed anyone. Back at my house, there was another scent, one I'd never smelled before. That's probably the one who killed my family. It wasn't Nezuko. I don't know why she turned into something like that, but..." "It's simple," the man stated. "Her wounds were exposed to demon blood, and so she turned into a demon." That's how man-eating demons multiply. Nezuko would never eat humans, Tanjiro exclaimed. You gotta be kidding me. Just now, you were about to be devoured. You're wrong. I'm sure she knows who I am. I won't let her hurt anyone. I swear I'll turn her back into a human. No, you won't. Once you turn into a demon, you can never go back. I'll find a way. So please, don't kill her. I'll hunt the one who slaughtered my family. I'll make everything right. So please, please, don't do it. Tanjiro then got down to his knees and completely turned his head down. Please don't kill my sister. Tears rolled down Tanjiro's face. I'm begging you. The mysterious man gritted his teeth. For the first time, the man's eyes widened and showed emotion. He glared straight at Tanjiro. Don't ever give a chance for others to murder you. Stop that pathetic groveling. If it was the least bit effective, your family wouldn't be dead. How can a weakling who can't even take the initiative in this situation ever hope to heal his sister? Hunt down the enemy? Don't make me laugh. The demons might know how to cure your sister, but don't think that a demon would ever respect your will or wishes. Naturally, I don't respect you either. That's the reality. Why did you throw yourself over your sister earlier? Was that your way of protecting her? Why didn't you swing your hatchet? Why did you show your back to me? All those blunders led to your sister's capture. I could have skewered her along with you. Tanjiro kneeled silently, the tears streaming down his face. The cold wind blew in their faces. Don't cry, the mysterious man thought to himself. Don't despair. Now's not the time for that. I know you're devastated. Your family was massacred, and your sister became a demon. I know it's painful. I know you want to scream. I get it. If only I'd gotten here a half day sooner, your family might not have ended up dead. But there's no way to turn back time. Feel the rage, the powerful, pure rage of being unable to forgive. That will become your unswerving drive to take action. With such a fragile resolve like yours, you can't protect or heal your sister, nor get revenge for your family. Then, the man raised his blade. Before Tanjiro could move, the man stabbed Nezuko in her upper left chest. Nezuko shrieked in pain. Stop, Tanjiro exclaimed. Without a moment's hesitation, Tanjiro threw a rock at the man, which was easily blocked. Tanjiro then sprinted towards his hatchet, which lay on the snowy ground. Picking up the hatchet, Tanjiro circled around and towards the man's side. He threw another rock and hid behind a tree. Then, with his hands behind his back, he charged at the mysterious man, yelling in a fervor. A straightforward attack driven solely by emotion, the man thought. You fool, he exclaimed, and immediately ran the butt of his sword into Tanjiro's back. Tanjiro fell like a sack of potatoes. Suddenly, Nezuko froze, looking only at Tanjiro. The man looked at Tanjiro and looked confused. Where's his hatchet? He asked himself. Then, right as he looked above, the hatchet came flying from the sky and pierced the tree right behind the man, missing him by a hair. Before Tanjiro had charged at the man with his hands behind his back, he threw the rock and hurled the hatchet in the air while acting like he was carrying it. The charge was only an act. He knew he couldn't beat the mysterious man. This kid, the man thought to himself. It was then that Nezuko used all her might to break free of the mysterious man's hold. She bolted towards Tanjiro. Shit, she'll devour him. It was then that the man's eyes widened a second time. Nezuko had stood on top of Tanjiro. Her body was in front of his, blocking him from the mysterious man, her hands covering him. She was protecting him. Then Nezuko dashed towards the man. The man looked unfazed as he thought to himself. Long ago, there was someone who thought his family who had become a demon wouldn't eat him, only to be devoured by the same demon. It was a well-known fact amongst demon slayers that once a human became a demon, it would hunger, and when starved, would devour even its own parents or siblings. Humans were nutrient dense. The mysterious man had seen it happen many times. That's why he was perplexed. He saw that Nezuko was badly injured, lost blood, and had expended a lot of energy healing her injuries as well as fighting. By now, Nezuko was clawing and swinging at the man, while the man effortlessly evaded her attacks. She must have drained vast amounts of strength as she transformed. She's severely starved right now. I'm sure she wants to feast on a human right away. Yet, she protected her brother while intimidating me. I wonder if these siblings might be different from the others. The mysterious man pondered by himself, and with that, Nezuko leaped at the man when he firmly hit her neck and put her to sleep. Tanjiro was lying down. He was hearing voices. His entire family surrounded him. I'm sorry to leave you behind, Tanjiro. Tanjiro's mother sadly stated. Take care of Nezuko for me, all right? With his mother's words, Tanjiro immediately grabbed hold of something. He had grabbed Nezuko's collar. He opened his eyes and realized that they were still in the snow. He was dreaming of his family. Back to reality. He saw Nezuko and thanked God that at least Nezuko was alive and next to him. She was unconscious though. You awake? Tanjiro looked and saw the mysterious man leaning on a tree. Tanjiro, still frightened by the man, immediately grabbed Nezuko. The man, unfazed, continued. Go see an old man named Sakonji Urokodaki. He lives at the foot of Mount Sagiri. Tell him that Tomioka Giyu sent you. Giyu looked at the Nezuko and stated, It's cloudy now, so she seems to be all right. However, never let her be exposed to sunlight. Then, the man vanished in a blur. Tanjiro sat there for a few moments to process everything that happened. Then, he carried Nezuko and went back to his home. His family would have a proper burial. Tanjiro had properly buried his mother and siblings while Nezuko watched. Luckily, when Nezuko came to, she wasn't violent or belligerent anymore. However, she didn't seem to understand everything he said to her. Eventually, he told her to stay put and wait for him to finish. Once they were finished, Tanjiro made his prayers. With that, Tanjiro and Nezuko set off to Mount Sagiri. Welcome to Illumi Stories. If you enjoy, it would give me a lot of strength if you could like and subscribe.